Good morning to all our staff and esteemed guests. A very warm welcome on this chilly morning. May I kindly request that you rise as we welcome our principal and deputy principals into the CC. Thank you. You may now be seated. Good morning once again, everyone. It is a great honor and privilege to welcome you all to this very special occasion, our school's annual reunion day. Today is a day of celebration, reflection, and reconnection. It brings together generations of people who have all contributed to the legacy of this great institution. Each one of you a vital thread in the rich fabric of our school's history. A heartfelt welcome goes to our esteemed alumni. Thank you for returning to the place where your journey began. Your presence here today is a testament to the strong bond you still hold with this school, no matter how many years have passed or how far life has taken you. Your achievements beyond these walls inspire all of us and remind us what is possible with dedication, perseverance, and the values that were instilled here. To our dedicated staff members, past and present, thank you. You are the heart and soul of this institution. Through your commitment, your patience, and your belief in every learner who walks through our gates, you have helped shape the character and future of so many. This day is as much a celebration of your hard work and passion as it is of the students who have gone on to achieve great things. It is also with great pride and excitement that we welcome our newly appointed principal, Mr. Marwick. We look forward to the vision, leadership, and energy you bring to our school, sir. Your presence marks a new chapter in our great history, and we are confident that under your guidance, our school will continue to grow, thrive, and uphold the values of which we are all so proud of. To my fellow learners, today is a powerful reminder of the journey we are all on. One day, we too will return as proud alumni. Let this event inspire us to make the most of every lesson, every challenge, and every opportunity our school offers. The people we see here today are proof that the foundations we build now will shape our futures. This reunion day is not just about the past. It is about celebrating how far we've come and looking forward to where we are going. It is about honoring the connections that time cannot erase and the community that continues to grow stronger with each passing year. So, on behalf of the entire school community, I warmly welcome each and every one of you. May today be filled with joyful reunions, shared stories, heartfelt memories, and new beginnings. Thank you for being here.
Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. عن جزيز عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال من يحرم الملك يحرم الخير. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, whoever is deprived of the characteristic of gentleness, kindness, is deprived of all goodness. Thank you.
Amahubo 46 verse 5. uNkulunkulu uphakathi kwawo awukuzanyazanyiswa. uNkulunkulu uyakusiza ngovivi lokusa. Izaga 31 verse 25 kuya ku26. Wembethe amandla nesithunzi. Isikhathi esizayo usemkela ngentokozo. Uma evula umlomo wakhe kuphuma ukuhlakanipha. Nesifundo somusa sisolimini lwakhe. Amen.
Psalms 46 verse 5. God is in the midst of her, she shall not be moved. God shall help her just at the break of dawn. Proverbs 31, verses 25 to 26. Strength and honor are her clothing. She shall rejoice in time to come. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and on her tongue is the law of kindness.
Vanakkam, Namaste, and Namaskaram. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 47. Karmanye vadikaraste, ma paleshu kadachana, ma karma palahetur pur mate sangostu karmani. Thy right is to work only, but never with its fruits. Let not the fruits of action be thy motive, nor let thy attachment be to inaction.
Thank you, ladies. Please bow your heads for the school prayer. The day returns, O Lord, and brings us the petty round of irritating concerns and duties. Help us to perform them with laughter and kind faces. Let cheerfulness abound with industry. Give us to go blithely on our business all this day, and bring us to our resting beds, weary and content and undishonored, and grant us in the end the gift of sleep. Amen. Good morning, ladies, gentlemen, and young ladies, and most especially our noble alumni of this girls' high school. A special warm welcome goes to you all from the furthest flung corners of the country and the world back to this green hill, this gathering place, and this school of ours. Today, ladies, you do not merely visit, you return, you reconnect, and you remind us who we are. As the newly minted 13th principal of this remarkable school, it is my profound honor to address you today, Reunion Day, precisely 2 months after assuming this great responsibility. As the staff and girls already know, Girls High loomed large over me as a little boy because my mother taught here in the 1970s, and the names like the great Macduff, Mrs. Dowse, Miss Bailey, Miss Murdoch, and more recently, Miss Bowness, were all very familiar to me. To assume the role that in days gone by had been performed with distinction by the great headmistresses of the past is the greatest honor of my career, and I can assure you, the alumni of this school, that I have assumed my role with humility, determination, and yes, ambition. And I do, of course, admit that I am very new to this role. But let me assure you, ladies, I have been thoroughly inducted by your successes in green. During my daily rounds, beneath the friendly smiles and cheery greetings of "Good morning, sir," I have been met with searching questions, a few suspicious looks, and most intimidatingly of all, the quiet scrutiny of teenage girls who can spot an insincere sentence at 20 paces. During such moments, I have not been so thoroughly demoralized since that day in January 1989, when a friend of mine and I gate-crashed a GHS Monday assembly in our green dresses. We were soon singled out and, yes, booted out by Dr. Wietzen. And outside the old hall, we came face to face with the fire-eating Miss Bowness. Her precise words to me, as I merrily reminded her only a month ago, were, "And who the hell are you?" But of course, that's a story for another day. Today, ladies, is your day. And yet it's not only about the past. It's about that unique space where memory and mission meet. Today is an act of celebration, yes, but also an act of continuity. You are not simply visitors today. You are vessels of a great legacy in green that stretches back to the pioneering days of Miss Norma Burns in August 1920. You are not just spectators of today's GHS. I'd like to think that you are the co-authors of its next chapter. Allow me a moment of light-hearted reflection. I recently came across an anecdote from a reunion much like this one, where an old girl approached the principal and asked, with a conspiratorial grin, "Does the staircase to the art room still creak in the middle?" When told that it did, she beamed and said, "Then I know the soul of the school is still intact." There is truth in that anecdote. In every creaky floorboard, every familiar old tree in the quad, every fading photograph on the wall, there is story and memory and continuity. But we are not only curators of the past, we are architects of the future. Let me reassure you, our returning old girls, that GHS is thriving. It remains a place of industry and of energy, of youthful joy and academic ambition. The cheerfulness with industry that you remember is alive, though occasionally amplified now by the soundtrack of TikTok videos and the steady hum of Wi-Fi. Whether it's the 93 to 96% bachelor pass rate achieved consistently each year in the NSC examinations, or the 5 KZN champion debaters announced just this week, including positions 1, 2, and 3 in the province, GHS continues to punch well above its weight. Our magnificent orchestra draws praise and envy from far and wide. Our top athletes compete nationally in basketball, netball, hockey, table tennis, and more. And our annual STEM fair showcases innovation and excellence from grade 7 girls across the city. I think of some of the events of just the last 7 days. The movie night on Friday, with its popcorn blankets and perhaps hint of a stolen kiss. The good form shown on the following morning by the first team soccer in winning the silver medal at Riverwood High. The jazz band performance in the suburbs. The magnificent annual Hindu Society event in the Norma Burns Hall on Saturday afternoon, with the girls stunning in their traditional attire, the elegant dancing, the stirring recitals, and the music that had the audience entranced. And the much-anticipated cook-off on Tuesday night, with its Italian fare, air of sophistication, and quirky master of ceremonies. Some of these girls and these events are the headline makers, but perhaps most impressive is the quiet confidence and all-round grace of the girls you don't necessarily read about on social media. The so-called plain Janes, who are in truth anything but plain, are poised, well-spoken, kind, and capable. They are being raised in a school culture that prizes balance and character as much as brilliance. They are prepared not just for exams, but for life, and they are a credit to the school. And yes, we are ambitious too. In the months and years ahead, we are planning a bold program of regeneration. 15 classrooms were upgraded over the June holidays. The BE foyer and common rooms are now places of both comfort and elegance, and we will be breathing fresh life into our beloved buildings, all while protecting the character and beauty of this special place. I'm pleased to report to you today that we will, with immediate effect from today, be offering a handful of scholarships to the daughters of old girls to board from 2026 onwards. So if you have a daughter looking to follow her mother to GHS, and you are from Margate to Maklabatini, Eston to Eshowe, then please have a quiet word with me afterwards. Here we continue to speak openly of excellence, not as an aspiration for the elite, but as a standard for every girl in every field. We want our girls to leave GHS, this great green machine, with curiosity, courage, and a deep, unshakable belief in their own potential. As in your day, whether it was 1965 or 2015, we want our girls to walk into universities, into boardrooms, into laboratories, into NGOs and parliaments, and startups and classrooms, not with arrogance, but with assurance. And when asked where they come from, they must be able to say without hesitation or apology, I come from Girls High. Let me pause for a line of poetry from the Pulitzer Prize winner Mary Oliver, who wrote, "Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life?" That is the question I will exhort the staff to ask our girls. That is the challenge we will pose, the opportunity we will prepare them for. That is the horizon towards which we will move with courage, compassion, and conviction. What will you do with your one wild and precious life? And to you, our old girls, thank you for returning, for remembering, for renewing your bonds. But more than that, thank you for being proof that a GHS girl goes far, that she contributes, that she creates, she challenges, she changes the world. Please enjoy the day, reconnect, laugh, and roam the corridors. Peep into your old classrooms, walk your old path across the lawn, forgive the changes, and relish the continuities. And if by chance the staircase to the art room still creaks underfoot, smile. It means that we've done something right. Welcome home. Thank you. Thank you. We will now enjoy a musical amble down Penny Lane with our choir, after which we will welcome to the microphone our honored guests from the various reunion classes, starting with Dr. Mary Reynolds from the class of 1965. Thereafter, we will enjoy performances by the gospel choir, the string ensemble, and the wind band, with closing thanks to be offered by Ms. Ngwenya from the RCL. Thank you, choir. At colleges, we get 100. We're lucky with the city. It's incredible. Wow, really is wonderful. Yeah, Saturday's another story. Yeah.
Can I please call upon Dr. Mary Reynolds, née Hensman, who will be talking on behalf of the class of 1965.
I'm glad to see they've got something for the shorter people. Right. Greetings, Mr. Marwick, staff, girls, old girls, my classmates of 65, and I'm not sure if Miss Boness is here today. Please give her a special welcome. It's not many of our generation who come back to school and find our teachers are still here. Wonderful. It's a great privilege for me to stand before you all today. Thank you, GHS, for welcoming us all back after so many years. 2 minutes, and you've written a 5-minute address. What do? You pop it into ChatGPT, and you say, please make it into a poem. So, here we go. GHS, 60 years on. In halls we filled with youthful cheer, we gather now from far and near. We honor Flossie, wise and kind, her gaze would pierce mischievous will, her presence walks beside us still, memories etched in heart and mind. From bonnet hats and bloomers green, 60s spirit held us bound. No screens, no tweets, just face to face. In print and voice we found our place. Not all were stars in sport or class, some ran the race and gained a pass. Our teachers lit the path ahead with books and chalks, our minds were fed. And years went by, then came the day, a lesson long forgot held sway. Green Ellie, born in 65, with wax and stylus came alive. Cartoons and pages hand-compiled, a legacy that still survives. The library haven, wide and warm, where wonder stirred and minds gave chase, from atlas maths to mythic lore. The shelves sparked dreams and so much more. In fiction's fold we lived new lives, heroes rose and magic thrived. School history's not just carved in stone, not only found in names that linger, the founders' heads, the stars of sport, the trophies won, the proud report. True history lives in quiet grace, in every girl who's found her place. She entered young, unsure, unseen, at 13, caught and in between. 5 years she walked these storied halls, through laughter loud and friendship called, through lessons learnt and moments shared, through trials faced, mentors who cared. It's in the photos, worn or bright, in scribbled notes and morning light, in whispered jokes and classroom dreams, on hockey fields and college memes. Our history lives in all of these, the daily joys, the memories. So let the stories rise and shine, preserved in prose, in voice and line. For every girl who's passed this way has shaped the school in her own way. Let GHS record, retell the loved, the lived, the laughed as well. So class of 25, take heed. Let nature, books, and truth be seed. Climb mountains, journey, seek the skies. Let friendships be your lifelong prize. And when you're back in 60 more, you'll find your friends and once before. For roots run deep and bonds hold fast. Girls' high spirit long will last. Thank you.
Thank you to Dr. Reynolds. Can I now call upon Judy Sanderson representing the class of 1970?
I'm from Tukweni, so now. Being here today has made me think, seeing these bright young faces, what advice or tips would I have given my young, shy, 16-year-old self? So I thought, a lot has happened since I was last here. And something I would like to leave with you is that despite that when you start your new career, despite the work we did in the Women's Legal Status Committee with Helen Suzman to scrap all the discriminatory laws against women in the old South Africa, despite we've made huge strides for equality and justice. But still, when you start your career, you're bound to find that you have to work twice as hard as most men to get twice as far. So a few little things that I'd like to mention that I would have appreciated when I was 16, I think, although you don't normally listen, but the first step is dream big. Articulate your dream, celebrate your milestones, have a plan. Second one is take the first step. Every journey of 1,000 miles starts with that first step. I wasn't very athletic, except I played third-team hockey in school, but I've done a lot of hiking and climbing since then, through my mad mountaineer husband. And I once started training climbing stairs at work, and 6 months later was able to climb Kilimanjaro. So that's my point about starting with the first step and not giving up. And don't let obstacles put in your way stop you. You know, a brick wall, you can go around it, you can go over it, you can go under it, you can bash it down with friends. That's why your friendships here are so important, because they can see you through 50, 60, 70 years. Don't self-censor, believe in yourself. Eleanor Roosevelt used to say, you will only feel inferior if you give people permission. Feminism isn't about making life fair for just one person. It's about making it fair for all women. There was Gloria Steinem, a famous American feminist. And the friends you make here today, some of them you'll keep in touch with, some you won't, but it's wonderful if you can keep in touch with your best friends, because over the years you can make many more journeys together and stand together. And 50 years later, as I'm planning to do now, because I've got champagne with me, to celebrate this reunion with my good friends, some of whom I haven't seen for a long time, others I've kept in touch with, but it's still great when you reach your 50th or 60th reunion. It's not so much about sharing your career milestones or your family or the children you've had. It's all about a bit of nostalgia, reminiscing, and being grateful for what you've got and enjoying what you've got, and just being here. Because sadly, some of our old school friends have passed on already, so it's up to us to live our best life. So I'd like to just leave a donation for the school library. I was a founding editor of the South African National Editors Forum and still serve on the council, but this booklet I helped work on, 25 Years of Media Freedom, is really important because it documents how important media freedom and good journalism is to our democracy. And I hope some of you are going to take up the cudgels of being a journalist, tough as it is, because it's never boring and very rewarding and a very important role to play in our democracy, especially at the SABC, where I spent 42 years, the public broadcaster, a very, very important institution. And I'm delighted to see how many more opportunities there are here for you young women, because I wanted to do athletics when I got to high school, like I did in primary school, and they said it wasn't ladylike to run. So, boing. But it's wonderful to see all the opportunities you now have. And I regret to say you will still find some sexism, but you'll be strong enough coming from Girls High. Will foster your resilience, so you'll be able to sort them out. Thank you.
Thank you to Ms. Judy Sanderson. Can I now call upon Louise Forster, née de Villiers, speaking on behalf of the class of 1975.
Right, good morning. Mr. Marwick, Principal, and before I go further, may I say, Mr. Marwick, we wish you all the best for your tenure here, and we hope you have a joyful and successful time leading this wonderful school. The staff, our class of 1975, and probably most importantly, all you young GHS ladies. It's exactly 50 years since I set foot on the school grounds. My family left KZN shortly after I completed matric, and it is incredible to be back, but I must say that almost nothing is familiar. I'm looking forward to having a good tour around the school and seeing what I can remember. But in addition to that, our class of 75 has had a WhatsApp group which has brought so many amazing memories rushing back, and we are going to look forward to sharing more memories through the day. So just to put you in the picture, especially you young ladies, we of 1975 are the boomer generation. So we grew up with no cell phones, no TV, no computers, no Google, certainly not AI, and my very smart friend who spoke just now, well done. I had to write my own speech because AI is too difficult for me to sort out. We bought vinyl records. If we wanted to know something, we consulted Encyclopedia Britannica. We listened to transistor radios, and our favorites were the Beatles and the Bee Gees. Thank you so much to the beautiful choir for your rendition of that Beatles song today. So in short, I think that we oldies actually deserve some kind of a round of applause for having survived the most technological advancement ever. Just briefly, memories of school include mostly for me amazing sporting tours, tennis tours, hockey tours, and I know that everybody has paid tribute to Sheila Bones today, but I just want to mention that we were so privileged as school hockey players to have Sheila, who was at that time the captain of the Springbok women's hockey team in South Africa, which is now known as the Proteas. And Sheila, thank you for your enduring love and support of this school, and it's wonderful to see you again. I understand that Mrs. Marwick is here today. I haven't seen her yet. She was one of our teachers as well, our English teacher. Mrs. Marwick, we remember with much love for her beauty and her kindness in the classroom always. As I was a boarder, most of my memories actually surround what happened there. The first one was inconsolable homesickness, to start with. And eventually, a lot of fun times, dressing up on Saturday evenings, competitions, music, dancing, fun, and the occasional social with Maritzburg College, which was always a highlight. I remember delicious Sunday lunches, roast chicken, roast potatoes, after which we were required to go to our rooms and be completely silent until 3 o'clock, and in that time, we were obliged to write a letter home. not negotiable. Put it in an envelope, address it, hand it in to have your name ticked off. Every boarder contacted their parents once a week. After which, the college boys would stream down in their groups to come and visit on a Sunday afternoon, looking awfully dashing in their black blazers and their bashes. I also recall lumpy maltabella porridge. Not one of our favorites. Frog's eggs, sago pudding. But the all-time memory had to be floor polished sandwiches. Boarders, I really hope this is no longer a thing, because I saw in the kitchen how they were made. 5 blocks of margarine, 3 cans of red fruit jam, put into a big bowl with an electric mixer until it became a gorgeous pale pink paste, which was then walloped across each slice of bread. Right, those are some of the memories which I have. And I think because we are the oldie generation, I think it's the right thing for me to try and leave you young GHS ladies with just 1 or 2 little pearls of wisdom. Things that I also wish that I had known when I was younger. Number 1, school days are the best days of your life. I see all my older friends clapping, but girls, no, they're not. I want to actually venture to say that they are probably of the most difficult days of your life. It's a time where I recall, and I'm sure many of you feel, insecure, unsure. Am I clever enough? Am I pretty enough? Am I good enough? Why do other people seem to manage things so easily? And what I want to tell you today is, that's okay, it's normal. You will find your place, and it will pass. And even though some people look and appear as though they've got it all put together, everybody at some stage feels lonely and unsure of themselves. It will pass. Number 2, being elected to positions of leadership or achieving at school is fabulous. But I wanted to tell you all today, it does not define you. Please know that. Life that lies ahead is going to be filled with opportunities where you will find your passion, you will find your niche, you will find that which you enjoy and in which you can make a difference. Please don't worry about any things that you have not achieved in at school, because there are hundreds, thousands of very successful people in the world who didn't really achieve at school. Your time will come. And finally, and this is one I think Miss Boness will probably testify to the fact that I was never one of the most hard-working academics. Worked very hard at my hockey, Miss Boness. But I want to say to you, you are at school for 6.5 hours every day. Use that time wisely. I had a young boy in my class a couple of years ago. I was a teacher. And he loved him, fabulous. He was the one that had the pea shooter and the paper aeroplanes flying around. And eventually I one day said to him, Mark, why don't you just do what you have to? You have to be at school for 6 hours every day, so use your time, because otherwise it's going to become homework. And he looked at me and he said, but ma'am, that's fine. I don't have any friends at home, so I can work at home. At school, I've got friends. And I thought, okay. That's kind of logical, but I'm a teacher, so Mark's not going to win. Removed Mark's friends from him. But what I want to say, bottom line, girls, is This amazing staff that is sitting around you here today, every one of them is an expert in the field in which they are teaching. They have got so much wisdom and so much knowledge to impart to you. All you should do is use your time at school to listen. You've got to be here anyway. And I promise, exams will be so much easier because everything that you're studying will have been familiar. And in closing, I just want to say, if you can be anything in this life, please be kind. Thank you.
Thank you to Mrs. Forster. Representing the class of 1980, I'd like to call upon Bronwyn Poole.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Bronwyn Gerbers, knee Poole, and I'm a 62-year-old grandmother and a third-generation old girl of this very special school, with my grandmother having started here in 1924. When Jenny J., our incredible organizer of the class of 1980, asked me to say a few words today, I had this terrifying memory from 45 years ago when I had to stand up in front of over 1,000 girls and read a scripture in assembly. I still remember it. It was Luke 19, verses 1 to 10. And it was frightening. And standing here today in front of all of you, nothing has changed. I spent 9 years at GHS, 5 years as a young schoolgirl, or a shy young schoolgirl, and then another 4 here as a teacher. You can imagine my distress when, as a 22-year-old just finishing studying, my first teaching post was back at the school that I had just left. And horror of horrors, most of my old teachers were now going to be my colleagues. Old girls have so many memories to share, and it is always such fun reminiscing. I've been asked to share some of my memories of my 5 years here at school, but I thought it was safer to share memories of my teachers as opposed to what we got up to. Back in 1977, when choosing subjects for matric, our school career guidance counselor, I won't give names, gave me 4 options: secretary, nurse, teacher, or, if I was pretty enough, had good teeth, and was between the height of 162 and 172 centimeters, I could be an air hostess. Well, teaching was the choice made, and I've never regretted it. Our Afrikaans teacher in grade 8 was the epitome of cool. She was the most mod teacher ever because she had a toe ring. She told us that she was a Russian spy and that at night she would go home and unscrew her toe ring and transmit information back to Moscow. And some of us believed her. Our maths teacher was also a character. She had this incredible ability to teach the ceiling and never looked at the class. So you can imagine the shenanigans that happened, catching up on sleep, catching up on homework, and all sorts of other interesting things, all under her watch. Our French teacher was a crazy but lovable character. One Monday morning, she bounced into class, to inform us all that our French essays that she was supposed to mark over the weekend had been recycled. In a fit of rage by her husband, they had had a fight, she told us, and he'd torn them all up and thrown them in the bin. We were absolutely shocked and then very distressed when she told us we had to rewrite our French essays. My last memory to share is that of my most favorite teacher. Guess who? Mrs. Marwick. She was so beautiful inside and out. She had the most incredibly beautiful handwriting, and we absolutely loved our English lessons. And as you know, her son is now your head, and I know you will be in very good hands. This is just a screenshot of my 5 years at GHS. And this reunion has been a wonderful opportunity to reconnect with past classmates and has brought back so many cherished moments. A few weeks ago, when I tried to explain to my young grandson that I couldn't just dive and leap and do somersaults and backflips on the trampoline with him because I was old, he asked me if I'd been born with the dinosaurs. So, some of you might say, what is this dinosaur going to teach us today? Well, quite frankly, nothing. I'm here on behalf of the 1980 matric class to thank you, young ladies, for what you are going to do for our beautiful country. As women of strength, humility, and courage. And I'd like to encourage you all not to try and be influencers, but to be inspirers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. I'd like to now call upon Hayley Tweendale, who will be speaking on behalf of the class of 1985.
Good morning, everybody. I'm here representing the matric class of 1985. Thank you for having us. Before I start, I am going to report on some of the naughty things we did, so bear with me. We were lucky enough to attend Girls' High from 1981 to 1985. Along the way, some girls left and others joined, but together we shared a special chapter in our lives. As a boarder, I have the inside scoop, not just on the school side of things, but also the wild and wonderful life in the boarding establishment, where we lived, laughed, cried, and, well, definitely bent some rules. Like today, there were over 1,000 girls at Girls' High, and so things had to be run with firm discipline. Walking between classes was a military operation, single file, on the left, and in complete silence. This has scarred me for life. I now have more rage whenever shoppers dare to drift to the right. Mrs. Ross, our esteemed, formidable history teacher, stood sentry outside her classroom, policing the corridors like the Queen's Guard. And then there were the up and down stairs, supposedly to ease congestion, but often just annoying. Your next class might be right above you, but you'd still have to go round to find the correct staircase. There was no time to dally between lessons, unless you happened upon a catfight in the corridor. Yes, those happened, usually over boys. These fights were frequent enough to keep us entertained and gave us something to gossip about at break time. We wore ridiculous hats as part of our uniform. These hats were bottle green in color, made of felt-type fabric, and resembled pork pies on the top of our heads. Many girls rode their bicycles to school. They could be seen pedaling along with their hat elastics firmly secured under their chins. Truly a sight to behold. We fought so hard to get rid of those hats, but to no avail. To our utter disgust, they were abolished the year after we left. As much as we didn't like our school hats, I do recall, with horror, a brother of one of our friends turning our school hat inside out and using it as his fishing hat. Some things just can't be unseen. There were very strict rules about our uniform. In public, you were never seen without your hat or blazer on. And if the weather was cold, you could wear a jersey, but only under your blazer. I must say, GHS girls mostly looked smart in public. We were proud of our uniform and our school. What really stays with us, even now, are the teachers who listened and connected with us. They're the ones who shaped our thinking and our futures. We were fortunate to have many such teachers who made a lasting difference. As for the naughty antics, well, we must have been a pretty angelic bunch. I asked around for stories and didn't get many. Were we too good, or are the stories too bad to share? Here are some that I did get. The one and only male teacher at the time was an accountancy teacher. He had a terrible habit of licking the chalk before writing on the blackboard. The accountancy students decided to teach him a good lesson. They removed the strings from Lilette's and replaced the chalk with them. There was great hilarity when, after licking the chalk, he could not get it to write on the board. Of course, those girls were in grave trouble. Later, the same accountancy teacher fell victim to the same class of girls. Over the intercom, a girl was summoned to the office. With that, the whole class stood up and exited his classroom. The poor man just watched everyone leave and not to return. This is proof that there is strength in numbers. One April Fool's Day, the history class decided to relocate Mrs. Ross's desk to the walkway roof that ran just below her classroom. Her entire desk was carefully lowered onto the roof. She walked into her classroom, looked around, and I'm sure at that moment she probably questioned her career choice. In our day, we chose between maths and typing. Those of us who took maths were fascinated by the typing girls. Picture this: music playing, girls with cloths over their heads like haunted typists from Victorian ghost stories, tapping away at their keyboards. The annual matric art exhibition took the form of a cheese and wine. Unfortunately, one of the wine boxes burst, so it was placed in the sink in the home economics classroom. A few newly appointed prefects decided this wine was fair game. Needless to say, the next day there were a few very unwell girls in the BE sickbay. School socials were straight out of a movie. Boys on one side, girls on the other. Eventually, one brave boy, probably dead by his friends, would cross the floor to ask someone to dance. The ice was broken. Every Sunday we had to attend church, petticoats and all. It was mandatory. On exiting the boarding establishment, we had to lift the hem of our white church dresses to reveal the petticoat, which was compulsory attire. Once a term, we attended Interdom at Maritzburg College, a real Sunday night highlight. We pretended it was about the singing. It really wasn't. No cell phones, no texts, no voice messages, just a call box and money. You queued for your turn. Everyone listened to your conversation. There was no such thing as privacy. And if you didn't have enough money, no problem. Tiki wire was your solution in desperate times. I think it's safe to say that despite us being at school so long ago, our antics were pretty much the same as what you girls get up to today. In our day, no phones meant no evidence. All our antics safely locked away in our memories. No Instagram, no Snapchat, no digital footprint. Just whispered retellings and occasional reunions where stories grow funnier and more exaggerated with each glass of wine. And one last thing. Look around your beautiful school. The facilities are far better than what we had. So take time to appreciate it. Own your uniform, honor your history, and know that you are part of something very special. Girls High will always be part of who we are. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Speaking on behalf of the class of 1990, I would like to call upon Paula Walker, née Chapman.
Good morning, everyone. It's such a joy to stand here with you today, surrounded by old friends, familiar faces, and memories that seem to live just beneath the surface. On behalf of class of 1990, I want to warmly welcome you to the special occasion as we celebrate 35 years since we walked out of these gates and into the big, wide world. 35 years ago. It sounds like a long time, but somehow it feels like just yesterday we were walking these corridors, dodging teachers, whispering in assembly, and turning up to school in our green blazers, brown socks, and perfectly polished shoes. Let's be honest. We may have looked like a nest of variegated bush snakes, but we wore that uniform with pride, even if we complained about it every step of the way. And yet, behind the uniform, there was something special, a quiet magic in friendships we made, the lessons we learned, and the way the school shaped us, bit by bit, into the women we are today. I still remember the day I arrived at GHS. As I came up Alexander Road, my stomach was full of butterflies, excited, nervous, and not quite sure what to expect. I'm sure many of you remember that same feeling, especially the boarders. Driving up that road, stepping into the unknown, wondering what the next few years would hold. At that time, it felt like just another chapter beginning. But looking back now, we know those were some of the most defining years of our lives. And let's not forget, 1990 wasn't just a big year for us, it was a turning point for South Africa too. Nelson Mandela was released from prison after 27 years, and the winds of change began to sweep through our country. We may have been teenagers at the time, caught up in school, sport, figuring out who we were, but we were also part of something much bigger. We witnessed a country shifting, history being made, and although we didn't fully grasp it then, it was the start of a new chapter, not just for South Africa, but for us young women stepping into an unknown future with hope and determination. Have you ever had a moment that felt so small at the time, But looking back, you realize it changed everything. For many of us, stepping into the boarding establishment for the first time was one of those moments. What followed were friendships, lessons, and memories that would quietly shape who we became. Years filled with whispered late-night chats in the dorms, stolen moments of laughter, and deep conversations that somehow made everything feel just okay. Every JHS girl has her own story, but I think we can all agree life at the school was unforgettable. We didn't have smartphones, social media, or Google Docs. We passed handwritten notes in class. The tuck shop was our version of social media, where gossip was exchanged over salad rolls and Wilson toffees. We crammed for social control tests, dodged PE when we could, and rushed back to the BE to change for sport. But boarding life, that was a whole different world. It was filled with sisterhood, midnight whispers, smuggled snacks, and of course, the no-nonsense presence of Miss Mace. Who remembers how she'd stand at the end of the corridor, arms crossed, and if she called your surname, you knew you were in trouble. And then there were the VCs. Hands up, how many of you know what a VC is? Okay, for the uninitiated, it involved Maritzburg college boys, late night swim, and not a stitch of clothing. One night, we got wind that a VC was planned. So like true strategists, we sweet-talked a border mistress into letting us hide in the pool room. Our hearts were pounding, and we waited in the dark. The moment the boys hit the water, we flipped on the floodlights. Us little border girls have never moved so fast, screaming, laughing, crawling out of windows. And I don't think we knew what we were going to do if we actually had to face a naked college boy. And so those stories have kept alive all these years. Speaking of lifelong bonds, I just want to mention a very special friend of mine, Bridget Bateman, who happens to be celebrating her 50th reunion today. Where are you, Bridge? She's too shy. She doesn't want to put her hand. Oh, there she is. We may not have walked these corridors at the same time, but somehow the school stitched us together like threads from different generations, woven into the same tapestry. That's the quiet magic of JHS. It builds friendships that stretch far beyond shared classrooms or school years. Not long ago, I sat across from a woman in her 90s at a wedding. She leaned over and told me with pride, "I'm a JHS old girl." And like that, we connected. It didn't matter that we were decades apart. We instantly understood one another. Because once you've worn this uniform, sung the school song, and felt the heartbeat of this place, you'll always be a JHS girl. No matter where life takes you, no matter how many years go by, you carry a piece of the school with you, quietly, proudly, and always. To the student, now, While today is filled with joy and celebration, we also just take a quiet moment to remember those from our year who are no longer with us. Though they're not here in person, they remain forever part of our GHS history. To the students sitting here today, enjoy this time. These years are precious. Yes, there will be tough days. You'll cry. You'll laugh until your tummy hurts, and you'll learn lessons in and out of the classroom. But above all, always be kind. Be kind to the girl in your class you haven't spoken to. Be kind to the grade 8 who walks past you nervously. Be kind to the teacher who pushes you to do better, because you never know how connections will shape your journey. And finally, thank you to all the organizers, to the musicians, the staff, and the students who've made this day so beautiful. And to the women in this room, thank you for being part of this legacy. And here's to the class of 1990. Here's to the BE, the tuck shop, the friendships, the VCs, the laughter, and the lessons. And here's to Pietermaritzburg Girls High School, still shaping women, still building hearts, still home. Thank you.
Thank you to Mrs. Walker. Can I now call upon Shay Hart, née Mathfield, who will be speaking on behalf of the class of 1995.
So I know you... So I know you ladies think that it's uncool to come back to school afterwards and you'll never come back. So I'd like the girls from 95 to stand up so you can see how super cool it is to come back, because look how many ladies came back. And just look how cool they are. So I'll definitely keep this short. I think you've only got about 4 more quick speeches left, so won't be too long. Good morning. It's an honor to speak on behalf of the 95 class as we mark our 30-year reunion. I can't believe it's been 30 years. Walking these corridors brings back so many memories in a full circle, 3 decades since we wore the uniforms and dreamed of the future. This moment is especially meaningful as we remember a head girl of 95, Judith Barrington Wilson. Her words from her head girl speech in 95, quoted from Winnie the Pooh, still echo. It's the end of one, but only the beginning of all others. In her speech, Judes reminded us that the GHS didn't just teach us facts, it taught us how to lead, how to care, and how to live with courage. And she lived those words. Though her story ended too soon, her legacy lives in each one of us, in every act of compassion, determination, and grace that we carry forward. To the young ladies here today, still at GHS, you are standing at the edge of your beginning. The world may feel uncertain, but know this, you are ready. Your voice, your kindness, and your dreams, every single one matter. If we could leave you with one truth, it's this. Success doesn't just happen. It is shaped by who you become. So, show up. Keep learning, and remember, you weren't born to be average. You were born to shine, every single one of you. Finally, as we celebrate our class of 95, we'd like to honor those we've lost. Judith Barrington Wilson, Sipiwe Sisipo, Angelique Wicks, Claudine Milson, Heidi Ardendorf Thompson, Tobile Masabuku, and Wendy Nglovu. Each one of these ladies left a mark on our hearts, and they will be forever part of our story. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you, ma'am. I would like to call upon Dr. Liz Clark, who will be representing the class of the year 2000.
Viva class of 2000, viva! Thank you, ladies. Good morning, everyone. It's such a privilege and honor to be here this morning. 25 years ago, at the start of a new millennium, we walked out of these gates as the class of 2000. We stepped into the world with wide eyes and wild dreams. And yet, how is it that 25 years can feel like just the other day? I've been asking myself this question a lot lately, thinking about the reunion. It feels like stepping into a time machine today. Suddenly, we're 17 again. The version of ourselves who wore these uniforms, filled these corridors with laughter and chaos, still lives within us, just quieter now. I want to invite you to think of our journey like a wheel, always turning, always in motion, each spoke representing a chapter of our lives. Back in the late 90s, when we were at school, there was no Instagram, no TikTok, no ChatGPT. Our AI was ask your intelligent friend and hope for the best. In these classrooms, on this hockey field, in the BE, we built our world. We navigated friendships, Afrikaans mondelings, survived exams, and yes, occasionally, but only rarely did we concern ourselves with the boys down the road. Some of us thrived, some of us endured, most of us did both. We were shaped not just by textbooks, but by the women who stood in the front of those classrooms, the fierce, unforgettable teachers who helped shape our minds. The Wietzens, Bo Ness, Lawrence, Allison, Ackerman, Fowler, Ellis, Rotenbachs, to name only a few. They were more than teachers. They made us feel like this was more than a job to them. They showed up with heart, with passion, and with purpose. And now, just like that, 25 years later, the wheel turns. We juggle careers, we manage families, some of us raise children, some of us still feel like kids, trying to figure it all out. We live in a world that's chaotic, that often underestimates women, but has never managed to keep us quiet. If these years have taught me anything, it's this: we are built for hard things. We rebuild, we carry each other, we laugh through meltdowns, cry in parking lots, and then we keep going. No one gets through 25 years untouched by love or by change. Life hasn't been all sunshine. Let's not sugarcoat it. We've taken hits, we've lost people, and we've even lost versions of ourselves. But we're still here, still standing. So, to the younger girls at GHS, those still at school, you're part of a wheel that's been turning long before you arrived, a legacy, a living network that stretches back decades. You're being shaped not just by the curriculum, but by the powerful magic of other women. To the old GHS girls, the women who came before us, you kicked down doors we now stroll through without even noticing. Thank you for your contribution. And to us, especially the class of 2000, though we've taken different paths, some smooth, some winding, some full of potholes, we still carry the same fire. Your presence here today is proof that connection still matters. This place, these people, this beautiful shared past. they still mean something. Let's also hold space for those GHS girls who couldn't be here today because of distance and life circumstances. Wherever they are part of this story too. Wherever life has taken you, whether you're thriving, rebuilding, or simply pausing to catch your breath, I want to challenge you. Maybe now is the moment to grant yourself the grace to imagine a new dream, not the untamed dreams we chased at 17, but one that honors who you've become. A dream not driven by applause or proving anything to anyone, but about coming home to your true self. Let's find our way back, not just to each other, but to the girls we once were. And as the wheel keeps turning, my prayer for you is this. Keep your hearts open, keep showing up for yourselves and for each other, and never stop dreaming. Because as long as we're still moving, there's still more to imagine and more to become. May God's light continue to shine on our paths, giving us strength to dream anew, courage to embrace change, and peace in the knowing that this story, our story, is still being beautifully written with every turn of the wheel. Thank you.
Thank you to Dr. Clark. Now representing the class of 2005, I'd like to call upon Dr. Nonhlanhla Langa Neibengu.
Good morning, everyone. I am not Dr. Nonhlanhla Langa. I thought I was so clever when I recruited Dr. Nonhlanhla Langa to speak on behalf of the year of 2005. And Murphy's Law, she cannot make it. She's been called into an emergency Caesar. So here I stand fully unprepared to deliver a message to you all. So that was 30 minutes ago, and I picked up my very best friend from high school, Rachel. She was Greaves, now Forward, and I said, help me, please. So with the help of some technology, we have a few words. We input some key aspects of our time at GHS, and this is what we got. So it's hard to believe it's been 20 years since we walked these halls as students of GHS. Standing here, surrounded by so many familiar faces and places, I'm reminded not just of who we were, but of how this incredible school has shaped who we've become. GHS wasn't just a school, it was a launch pad, a place where each of us, no matter how different, was given the space to explore, to fail safely, and to grow boldly. Despite its size, GHS always felt personal. We were encouraged to discover our unique talents, whether on stage with Miss Howes, in the pool with Mrs. Shuttleworth, in the lab with Mrs. Jury, or in a quiet moment in the library with Mrs. Durnford. And then, of course, there was the boarding life, a world of its own and the real core of the school. From midnight whispers, sneaky fireplace stashes, the dorms held laughter, secrets, and stories we definitely can't share in front of the class of 2029. And yes, let's not pretend we've forgotten the brave VC boys. Bold move, questionable results. This morning, we celebrate not just the past, but the unbreakable spirit of the GHS sisterhood. A spirit that's progressive, determined, and still rooted in the lessons and memories we carry with us every day. Here's to the women we've become and to the school that's helped us find our way. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Lastly, I would like to call upon Noguhle Khumalo and Rebecca Francis, who will be representing the class of 2015.
Yes, please. Okay. Good morning, principal, staff, students, and my fellow alumni. And thank you, Nokushle, for the honor of inviting me to speak alongside you today. And shout out to 12H. It is a full circle moment for me to be standing here. Years ago in grade 9, I stood on this very stage, trying to introduce the chess club. And let's just say it didn't quite go as planned. But today I'm not here to redeem a past mistake, maybe a little. I'm here to honor how far we've all come, each of us in our own way. Because the truth is, every one of us carries a different memory of this school. Some of us left with blazers braided with achievements, and some of us left with grass stains from the field, where we laughed with friends who carried us through hard times. Some remember the thrill of winning a hockey match. Others remember the thrill of somehow passing that grade 9 maths aptitude test. A lot of my memories live in the small moments. Free donuts on the school's birthday, the excitement of house singing and gym routines and playing rounders in PE, the shade of the trees when I needed space to breathe, the warmth I received from having a teacher such as Mrs. Simji in my matric year, who made my class little laminated timetables and quotes, which I still treasure and draw strength from today. These are my memories, and they may not look like yours, but they are no less real and they are no less valuable. You see, the gift of a school like GHS isn't just that it celebrates achievement, it's that quietly it makes space for everyone. Whether you found your place on the sports field, the stage, the choir, the chessboard, or sitting on the stairs after school, sharing dreams with a friend, you belonged. And that's what today is really about. Not comparing our paths, but recognizing that each one of us walk them with courage, that our lives and our memories are wonderfully different, and that is something to celebrate. Because the world needs all kinds, and so does the school. So be yourself and let good things come to you, and I promise you that they will. Thank you.
Yes, I knew it. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna be difficult, but we're gonna keep on moving. Good morning, everyone. How are you? You're allowed to talk. I know you guys have been quiet for a very long time, so how are you? That's good. All right. Firstly, I just want to say thank you so much, Rebecca, for speaking alongside me. I invited Rebecca because I didn't want to just speak from a head prefect's POV. I know I'm a fun person, but I'm also the first friend to say hi, Boba Fett. So I wanted another POV. So Rebecca, thank you so much. Good morning, everyone, again. My name is Noguhle Khumalo, and I'll correct this. It's Khumalo without the H. So on the program there's an H, there's no H. But if you ever get confused, my name is up there. Akiri. It feels so good to be back here and seeing faces that we used to see every single day. And even the build up towards this reunion has been exciting. From the voice notes from the organizers to being in a WhatsApp group with the whole grade, I expected a lot of chaos. They disappointed. To the phone call with Rebecca, or texting my friends asking, what are you wearing? Jeans? Dress? Someone said I look like a bridesmaid, and it happened to be my best friend. All I can say is, class of 2015, we made it. I'm so proud of you guys, and I know not everyone was able to come because of life, work, and other commitments, but also some of the ladies are in different time zones because they live abroad. Clark But I really, really hope that today actually reconnects us. I look forward to seeing old friendships rekindle, new friendships spark, because there was a lot of stupid drama as girls that I really think is unnecessary. But I hope we actually make those friendships. But I also look forward to catching up and hearing what everyone's been up to, because we set big goals when we leave here, but life doesn't always go as planned. However, I want to remind you guys that it all started here. I know you're proud of the person you've become. It may not have been according to your vision board, but the fact that you're here, you're alive, you're breathing, you still have a beautiful school that actually organizes a reunion because it's a great school. So I'm really proud of you guys, and I hope that you use this as an energizer and you go into the world with a lot more confidence. There's a special feeling that actually happens when you bump into a girls' high girlie outside of the country. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like a warm, fuzzy feeling. It feels like you're home even though you're away from home. But that doesn't always happen automatically. We build it. So to the ladies who are still in high school, I know you guys are probably still figuring it out. I just want you to know that every teacher and every subject is shaping you for something bigger. And because I hate theoretical quotes, I'll give you examples. English taught me how to speak. I now speak and get paid for it. isiZulu taught me life. Whether it was having marks deducted because I forgot to underline the date, or just being told that your paper 3 is not complete if you didn't wrap up your story well, and that speaks to life. If the ending isn't good, then it means it's not the end. I didn't take Afrikaans, but I can tell you, I watch Mommy Club van die Hoofstad with no subtitles. Accounting shaped my career quite a lot. A lot of people are in business, and I know we use it, but on a personal note, the accounting department also indirectly scored me 3 scholarships to UCT. So if I never thanked that team, thank you, Mrs. Maestri, Ms. Della, and everyone. Maths, I still haven't used Pythagoras in real life, I'll be honest. But it turned me into a problem solver, and the world needs a lot more of those. You guys would have heard the unemployment stats are high, but that's just because the formula is broken. You can't just study and get a job, you actually need to find a job. And a lot of it revolves around making something. So become a problem solver. Fine arts and music, I'm a DIY girly, I'm a content creator, so that allowed me to actually unleash my creative juices. Science and technology, not my fave, but it taught me grit. It taught me that even when you hate something, if you persevere, you'll come out on top. Life orientation, plus a few months in the BE, helped me prepare for university and actually living away from home. And lastly, PE, I do not miss that. But I do miss not paying to go for a run. So in conclusion, guys, I was never top of the class. I was never in first team, but I always showed up. I played instruments, I did weekly sports, I joined debating, I took AP classes, I even switched friendship groups so often, from Dororo Babes to Girls for God, from Girls for God to the Rainbow Nation. But through all of this, I want you guys to remember that you don't have to lock yourself into one lane. You're allowed to keep reinventing yourself. The older you get, the better your taste. And this also applies with boys. So if you feel like you don't have your life figured out, it's okay. You're not behind. Everything's unfolding. And to every one of us who are here, even though we don't have a special tie or a cute ring, the JHS name carries a lot of weight. So I trust that we'll all continue and carry it with love and pride so that future generations can benefit from it. Thank you.
Good morning to our principal, Mr. Marwick, deputy principals, members of management, staff, SDA staff, alumni, and my fellow GHS learners. I'd like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our alumni for making this day memorable by sharing their memories, advices of our green institution. I'd also like to extend my gratitude to the marketing department, IT, estate staff, and staff members for planning and arranging this memorable day for our esteemed guest. Lastly, I'd like to thank all the learners for being present today, especially the matrics, as this is our last reunion day at Girls High. May I kindly ask that we all rise and join together in singing the school song.
Would you be asking them to do that walk out? Yes. After the song? Yes.
Please remain standing as we all join together in the GHS war cry, Coast to Coast.
Please remain standing until our principal and deputy principals have exited the CC.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, ladies.
To our esteemed guests, you're warmly invited to join us for tea and light refreshments in the library quad. Kindly exit through the back door of the CC. Learners, please be seated. Learners, you may be seated.